Gothic spire. Whenever you look out the windows, you can see sort of a golden glow to every window. Occasionally, you might pop out and see a zeppelin or a little ship sort of hovering in the horizon. And on the streets, you see masses of people gathered around large monitors and preachers chanting. The people occasionally cheer and boo, and it is a cult-like atmosphere. Everyone is wearing their ornate red robes, and it is rather creepy. You all get this sense that something monumental is happening as you look around. The Fabricator General himself, Arcanos 5.4, is visible for the first time. He is sitting on a chair, completely unidentifiable. Just something that looks like two eyes occasionally pop out from this large wall of mechanical parts as he lifts himself up and down in a giant machinery maintained by a couple of tech priests. On the stand to the right, you see the Inquisitor next to Archconfessor K. Noble. They stand side by side, and the Inquisitor has a hood over his head, partially covering it. His one eye peeping out occasionally, looking in your direction, with stern judgment, Stefan. It is warm, and you can feel the cogs of this giant machinery in this Gothic spire turning. Occasionally you can feel the rumble and see the flickering of the lights as things move. There is a scribe taking notes. There is a giant machine hovering in the air, filming you with a pic recorder. Next to you is your opponent, and Cas Plautus. He is the Janitor Major. You have interrogated him before. He volunteered to represent the Quorum Primus. Other than that, the room is empty. Only representatives from the Inquisition, you, and from the Mechanicus. Octavian?
Yes.
Do you remember whose turn it was?
We were about to start the second point.
Are you sure? Didn't we go into the second point a little bit?
No, we just finished the first one.
I see. I'm just stalling until my computer monitor works.
I really wanna have the opening argument on the second one. It's gonna be dicey.
Okay, yes. The second point is red, it's in Banaric, and it basically goes, all treaties belonging to House Emiduseli are to be transferred to House Brabazon. House Brabazon may settle permanently on Syrinx Magnus. Are you sure we didn't go through one pointer? I think we did.
No, I'm perfectly sure.
Alright. I'm gonna script avoid.
Actually, I wanna begin the point with Stefan clearing his throat. Honored Judge, Fabricator General, although I'm certain that the Janitor Major is quite skilled in his craft, I fear that his knowledge regarding Imperial permits is lacking. I'm certain that maybe we should offer him assistance in dealing with such a matter. And Stefan will basically force him to roll Imperial permits to see if he knows his stuff.
Roll what?
For the Janitor Major to roll Scholastic Lore Imperial permits.
Gotcha.
Warrant, sorry.
He succeeds.
Then nothing
Pappa sitter og er opptatt, Markus, og jobber, men jeg kommer etterpå.
I know that you did
Pappa sitter og er veldig
something
opptatt,
similar
men jeg kommer
on
etterpå.
opening statements,
Ja.
and I don't know what you
Nei, du kan ikke få den. Pappa er veldig
plan to
opptatt.
impose on me.
Du skal få det etterpå.
I hope that maybe I can fold
Ja.
him this time.
Pappa sitter og er opptatt.
But yeah, what are you using?
Ja. Jeg kommer ut etterpå, Markus.
I will be
Jeg kommer
using
etterpå.
insight.
Jeg kommer etterpå.
Martin?
Kos deg med mamma, Markus.
Yes.
I will be using insight. What are you using?
So I can repeat that. I got a little visitor.
I'll be using insight.
Excellent. Trade diplomacy.
Okay. Wait, what are you using? So I know what the
Avoid.
insight says. Avoid. Opponent must receive willpower test or skip next session. Okay. It has come to my attention from the previous debate that perhaps the janitor is lacking in both skill and knowledge regarding state craftsmanship. Perhaps he should better prepare himself at a later date and let the scribe take his place. And
Go ahead.
And I will now roll for incitement.
Yes.
Insight uses command
One of the
intimidator
warriors.
diplomacy.
You're
Okay.
to make these decisions. It is not up to you. It is up to someone else.
Alright.
And I succeed. He needs to make a willpower check or
Okay.
lose his next round.
That is a fail.
Next round is mine then.
What did you script?
Hmm?
What did you do? I did avoid. What is your action?
I did incitement.
Inside. Inside, okay. I can reduce your degrees of success by my degrees of success on your tests. So I am going to... Cosplautus is going to lean forward, pointing to you.
All members of the Assembly should be aware that these agents of the Inquisition demanded the half of production to be halted for several minutes, leading to the death of several Manufactorum servitors. The evidence will be provided upon request.
He looks with judgment in your direction, and you are... your test is removed 1 degree of success. Do you still succeed?
I have like 9 degrees
Jesus,
of success.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah.
Stefan will say, nothing more but empty words by an empty mind.
Then we continue right away to the next round. Go.
Stefan will cry furiously, say, Honorable Fabricator General, the flesh must suffer. It is written in the scriptures as such. And of course, the head of House Brabazum, that has not been embraced by iron, has suffered at the hands of the tyranny of House Hemetuseli. And in that suffering it found wisdom to assist us when we were at our knees, when leads were being swept away. Is it not just for the suffering to be rewarded? I will not plead for this, but another of your subjects. I present to you Constantinus, a knight, representing his house, that you have bestowed great honors that will reflect also on House Brabazum. And he will step down and let
Constantinus, you walk out from behind the darkness into the light. What do they see?
A man in shining, freshly polished armor, covered in heraldry adorning his house and the colors of his house. Gold trim lining the armor.
Cos
Heavy
makes
plate.
Cos makes a deep bow. Go ahead.
Do you know what you must do, Constantine is? I
No.
hope I didn't. Oh, okay. Basically, Stefan would have talked with you earlier. He wants you to explain the benefits that Ceres Madness bestowed for your service towards the Mechanicus and towards Ceres Madness, and convince them to also bestow these benefits upon House Brabazon for their assistance in our investigation.
Does he know the system though, Tame?
Hmm?
Does he know the debate system?
I'll just ask him to roll charm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
As I have only recently learned, trade diplomacy exists.
Nice.
Or you can also roll charm for points.
Okay.
Yep.
I ask of you, is not the right and just reward of any son or daughter of the Imperium who offers to give their life and their services to be rewarded greatly? Is it not how we distinguish anyone for honorable service? Be it through slow labors or great acts of valor. For these are the ways that my house has achieved its service. How it has achieved its status. Through service, be it through conquest or defense of your borders. I ask of you to honor the same House Bravazum, who has done the same for you.
Wow, dude. That's awesome. You get an inspiration point. And you can roll charm.
Damn, I know how to pick my.
Yeah. Holy shit. And with your medals and uniform, you stand there with authority of your
So just flat
night
charm check.
house.
Black
It's
card.
always flat, always flat. And I've lost this round, so I can't do anything.
No, we have to roll until the end if I don't roll a dismiss.
5 additional degrees of success.
Awesome.
6 damage.
Awesome. Noted.
I mean, he can concede, of course, but you know.
He's going to make a point then.
You fool. Stefan will retake the stand, and I'm gonna do a dismiss. I will not let this argument reaching its conclusion. I will dismiss this outright.
Nice.
Stefan saying, honorable members of the jury, Grand Judge, Fabricator General, you have heard it here from your protectors, your warriors. Is there any more debate left? Should their loyalty, should we besmirch their honor any further? I believe not. This argument is point and valid. They will be rewarded for their service to the machine god. And I will roll trade diplomacy.
He will still go first with his point, I'm pretty sure. And he will immediately, as you leave the stand, lean in.
While the charges against Emeduseli are valid on some accounts, though clumsily and emotionally presented, where is the evidence that House Brabazum is any better? There have been numerous reports of leaked mutations that originated with Brabazum. Our approach to the Navigator houses, despite their many imperfections, should remain neutral.
He leans back, and with that, I'm gonna re-roll that. He's gonna use his ability. Oh my god! I rolled 99 and then 97. Fuck this.
Fuck.
Go ahead. How much damage do you do,
how
Tavi?
Let me see how many degrees of success. So a success plus 7, 8 plus 2 from dismiss, 10. If it
GG.
drops to 0, I automatically search it.
Yep, we are at 0. You will hear this grinding of wheels again. Looking up at the stand, you will see the Fabricator General sort of just pointing one of his mechanic androids up in the air. Two of his servants bow and walk away. The scribe intensely writes what seems like half a page. While the entire room is silent, you just hear the thundering of his keyboard. Looking around, all of you are just waiting until a new crackling modem sound is heard. Those who understand Binaric will hear. 3. The Council to be put under intense monitoring by hand-picked agents selected by either the Fabricator General or Juris Judge Leo Electogale. The Janitor Major is going to point at you, Stefan.
Oh no, he ain't gonna point shit. I will avoid it. But he
Alright.
goes first.
Yes.
The hand-picked agents are the men standing in front of you now. I believe we have seen enough of how emotional and irrational they can be. The risk of dual loyalty. In the end, only the great mind can decide.
He bows before the Fabricator General. And you can do your test, Tavi.
Stefan, should I roleplay it or just roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Stefan will take the stand saying, "This is no longer a matter of who should watch over the council anymore. This is nothing more but a separation of power. Can we trust the council going forward? Can we ensure their safety going forward? Let us review the proper documentations and protocols for safety, as presented by Article 15. A council member should always be accompanied by a bodyguard. We request nothing more, but to follow this with just small adjustments. What about Article?" And he goes on and on, decreasing the validity of,
Yeah.
not the validity, but losing the tempo that the point had.
Awesome. Roll to... and it was a void, did you say?
Yes. Avoid uses...
Then you can reduce degrees of success by your degrees of success.
Yes, only. Watch him be 0. Where is Rick? Did it roll? Oh no.
No.
Yes, that's it. Success. Just success.
How many
1 point.
degrees?
1 point.
You only take 5 points of damage. Your body of argument is reduced by 5. Okay, go ahead. I'm scripting a rebuttal for the next round. What's yours?
Oof, it's gonna be a point.
Okay.
Honorable Judge, there have been many discrepancies in this facility's security. There has been many discrepancies regarding the stability of the council. I am not a fighter, Honorable Judge. I am not a warrior. I am not someone who is military entwined, one might say. But alongside me, I have such a person who has seen combat, a person who knows what it is to protect, a person who knows what it is to serve something higher than him. Although not a follower of the machine god, his fulfilled his duty with just as much fervor as any Tet priest or Stritari. And he will roll forward. Dustin.
Okay. Okay, come on, Duskin. You're standing in the back. What do you look like when you walk up to the stand?
Delete the tonsils, Dustin.
As Duskin walks forward, he is wearing his military firsts with the armor underneath. It is a black uniform with a cloak, and then there's obviously the silver trim and obviously the weapons and everything else. As he approaches Stefan, says he looks at him, raises an eyebrow, and casts over his shoulder, and what he called speaks into his combead and says, "With your leave, my lord." Says, looking at the Inquisitor.
You see a slight bow. A slight nod of the head.
And he walks up to the stand. Seeing the pick recorders floating about, he turns and says, "I believe the time has come for these to be turned off." Says, "The rabble do not need to know matters of state."
Cass will lean in to the Voxcaster.
That is not protocol. It is highly irregular.
A lost production is on your head. And he turns around to the court itself and says, "As you can see, I do not stand before you in the guise of the jurist as my colleagues do. I stand here as my true self. I stand here as a representative of he who sits on Terra. As an acolyte of the Ordo Hereticus, I am deeply concerned over what I've seen here. Hereticus.
Oh.
I have seen this council fail in its duties to its lord, to its sector, and to its people. They have used Xenos genetics to change the base human form. They have then failed to deal with these resulting mutants. They have failed to report warp incursions to their lord so that actions can be taken against it. And they have failed to report suspicions, activities, inactions, or incompetence of their fellows. They do not deserve their position. They have failed their lord, their sector, and the Omnissiah. It is time for their replacement, and bear in mind, eyes from outside of the sector watch these proceedings."
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a point, right, Tavi?
Yeah, I roll charm.
I'm going to give you 2 more degrees of success for Duskin's excellent presentation. And you can go ahead and roll. And I am going to...
So that's 8 degrees.
And I'm going to script rebuttal, of course, so we're going to see how.
The reason for wanting increased power is invalid. The Genitor Major's calculations were in favor of the Council. Our Runix priest and Lex Mechanic were confronted and answered truthfully, despite a highly irregular and emotional interrogation. There is no ground to let the juries interfere with their production any further.
And...
Duskin will look across at him and say, "Careful, lest my suspicion falls upon you also."
You get a glaring glint of contempt for him from his eye as your point is reduced by 3 degrees from the rebuttal. Tavi.
So that's 5.
Okay, 5 in total, 5 damage to the body of arguments. Excellent. Alright,
Wait, does the success also count as damage?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
then
6. Okay, 6.
Oh.
Your round is up. Go ahead, Tavi.
Yes.
Duskin will obviously go back from the stand and what he called. As he's walking past Tavi, he says, "I look forward to our conversation." Says, and goes back into the darkness.
Beautiful. You get an inspiration point, of course. Go ahead, Tavi.
He continues. As you've heard, this is highly irregular. I wish to ask, how could heresy be allowed in this palace? The machine spirit has been obviously corrupted. As we can see, and he points above him on the giant monitor spinning inside the room. As we can see, servitors have been tainted by false strips, by strap codes with malicious intent. Where did this strap code come from? Who could have designed it? And this is obviously desperately trying to deviate from the subject.
Excellent. I'm scripting a feint to that, so that's gonna be. What was yours? Yours was obfuscate, or?
Mine was obfuscate. What does
Okay.
feint do to obfuscate? Oh, reduce. Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
So if you succeed, I lose my current action, and if you have 3 degrees of success, I get a -10 on my next action.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an opposed test. So
Yeah.
my feint. Yeah, he's just gonna try to interrupt you halfway.
Irrelevant. Judge Leo Electrogale should be speaking for them. What is it they know that he does not?
And he is going to succeed with 3 degrees of success. So if you get less degrees, the difference is reduced from your body of argument. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I succeed. Just succeed.
You just succeed. Okay.
With the -3.
Yeah. So my action is negated, and you can go ahead with the next action. Nothing happens.
Stefan will go. There is nothing further to discuss. The council must be put under surveillance this instant. How do we know that they are working unknowably for the enemy? How can we guarantee their safety? How can we guarantee their lives if we know that the enemy could be among us at any second? How many infiltrations have taken place inside the palace without them knowing? Can they even protect themselves? The answer is no, Honorable Fabricator General. Just like a mother would do to her children, we must ensure their safety for their own good. And that will be dismissed.
Dismiss. Dismiss versus insight. Reduce body equal to your degrees of success.
Oh,
Simple as.
very well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do insight.
Can I use a faith point to reroll it?
Yep, you can. This is an important point. It's gonna have consequences for the rest of the campaign.
Fuck.
How did you do?
Oh, I said I had. Let me look again. I was looking what the insight does. 5 plus 2, 7 points. If this is not damage, if his body of argument is reduced to 0, I win. If not, he doesn't take any damage and I get stunned for 1 round.
You did. Oh, what did you do? Insight? No.
No, dismiss.
Dismiss. Okay. Then we are going to do Yeah, I'm gonna beat your willpower. That's a... so you need to do willpower tests
Okay. 5 degrees of success.
on your willpower.
Yeah, no, he needs to roll 5 degrees of success to beat my willpower.
Okay, he did not do that.
Ah.
So your next turn is not skipped. And yeah, how much do you reduce body? 6 points?
7.
7 points. He's going to use his ability there. Alright, and we're down to very little. Then he is... yes, his insight is going to be...
The charges against the Corpus Eliminator and Technographer are contradictory. They have been attacked for their eager persecution of mutation and tech heresy. Has the Inquisitor failed to teach these men basic investigative logic?
And he points to the rest of the group. I'm going to script a point for my next round. What's your action?
For me, it's gonna be...
What's your action?
Oh, rebuttal.
Alrighty.
You omitted an obvious fact. It is likely that Judge Leo Electrogale approved these claims before they were presented. The judge has then agreed to abstain his power in favor of these strangers. Next, he has approved an application to grant him increased power. That is a logical contradiction.
And I'm going to roll point. 4 degrees of success.
Okay. Before I roleplay, should I roll?
Yep.
Okay. Remind me what I need for rebuttal? Charm. Okay.
So it's going to be 5 degrees of success for me.
I'm gonna use a fate point to reroll that. Unless I can do it with inspiration.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say you could take mine, but
Not this one. Not that way.
Ooh, he takes damage from my rebuttal.
Okay.
How many degrees?
5.
5. He takes 5 damage from my rebuttal.
I need to read the rules of who takes damage first. Oof, no. The player first lets his opponent make the attack. He then refutes the argument.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately you take 5 damage first. Where you at, Tavi?
No, subtract opponents versus versus point. Subtract opponent's degrees of success is equal to your degrees of success.
Ah.
If it reaches to 0, his action is void.
Okay, fuck. You're right, I didn't see that.
See?
Damn,
You need to read the drafts, boy.
Damn, son, you on top of this game, my nigga. Alright. Well, I guess my point is void on you. Oh, fuck.
And you still get that 5 damage, boy.
That's GG. That's GG right there. That was the most important point. I'm actually kind of glad you succeeded. The council then is decided to be put under monitoring by you. And only the Fabricator General can supersede your authority. The next Abanaric message is read. 4. The Magos juries will be subject only to the Fabricator General, but act like superior to the Council. Obfuscate.
I will point.
Okay.
Stefan will take forward. Much like the Administratum, the wheels of bureaucracy move slow, and this enemy, it is known to act swiftly and without prejudice. How many more hearings must we take until we finally reach a conclusion? I'm sorry, but it is impossible, my lord. Looking towards the Fabricator General. Why should we tire you? Each time we find something greater. Each time we need permission.
He's gonna interrupt you.
Stop! Do you understand assembly protocol? You do not address the Fabricator General directly. The charges brought against us are invalid. The Magus juries are already able to judge the Council, as we are seeing in this very moment. A change without a change is no change. How can we initiate change without change based on changes that are invalid?
Your wordcraft shows only your lack of intelligence. Proper diplomatic channels must be established. Treaties must be formed before such things may occur.
Deceive. It's gonna be 5 degrees of success.
What the fuck is my phone?
What did you script?
8 damage I deal.
What did
I
you
don't
script?
know what-
Point?
Yeah,
Point?
point.
Okay. Opponent loses current action. Yeah, and if you succeed with 3 degrees of success, the opponent suffers -10 on the next action. So you lose your current action, and you get a -10 in your next action.
Let me see something important, because I
Yes.
actually know how to read that graph. It's a versus roll,
Yeah,
which you did not succeed, first of all. Opponent
so it was
loses current
-6,
action.
36.
So how many success with it is?
That's gonna be 5 degrees of success for me.
That's gonna be for me, what is the roll point? That's gonna be 8 for me.
Alright. Alright, how much damage?
It's gonna be 8.
8 damage. Okay. Moving on. Next round. Next is Faint for me.
Next is Insight.
Go ahead.
Once again, we must continue with your buffoonery. Perhaps you're an expert in your field, but clearly you're out of your place here. You speak as if you're a superior, yet instead you should bow before me, for it is better, for it is your duty as my lesser to ask for the permission of your betters, which is I in this position. Have you not made a show out of this hearing enough? Have you not ridiculed yourself enough? I suggest you take a bow and maybe dismiss yourself. However, I don't think that you can go any lower carrying that ego of yours.
At this point, he is clearly distraught and bothered. Occasionally, you can see him sort of shaking as he looks in your direction. His demeanor expresses a total contempt for your presence here, and he's going to faint.
What?
Invalid. The Archmagus has not confirmed any of the charges brought up against the members of the Council. Your accusations lack foundation and support from our judging body.
May I?
Go ahead.
I shall step forward back onto this podium. Surely you're not familiar with our customs. For your servants and representatives of the Inquisition, our word is truth. To oppose us is blasphemy, and to deny us is heresy in our customs and yours.
The Inquisition is not involved in this investigation. Are you not members of the Magus juries?
The Inquisition is involved in this.
And we can roll. Go
As
ahead.
I'm sure I made myself plain.
Excellent. Go ahead, Stefan.
Success with 4 additional.
Cool. I get a fucking 9 degrees of success on my inside, on my feint. What was yours again?
You must make a willpower test, and if you fail, your next action is dead.
Success.
And you did 9 damage to my body.
That's feint versus rebuttal?
Versus...
Yeah.
No, insight.
Versus insight, okay. Yeah, it's a versus test though. So it's the difference in successes. So I got 9, how many did you get?
It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, you beat my degrees of success, so I take the damage.
How much?
You said 9 degrees of success,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, 9. However,
Really?
you must
Oh,
make a
damn.
willpower check or skip your turn.
He already did?
Did he?
Oh, no, that was for the other one, okay.
Oh, yeah. This is
Yeah,
what it is.
that's a success.
Shit.
How are you doing over there?
I'm still steady.
Okay. Point
This is-
next for me.
Mine will be rebuttal.
Alright.
The Fabricator General is already in charge of the juries, who judge over the council. To alter our ritual and tradition would serve no purpose beyond disrupting our carefully constructed machinery, which can only be obstructed by the Inquisition's involvement. These Inquisitors would never understand the intricacies of the machine.
And he is going to roll. It's going to be 0 degrees of success.
It's like kicking a baby at this point. Stefan will step forward saying, "Are you deaf? Why do you think this trial is taking care? Has been made manifest? Is the correction of the great machine. We face an enemy who knows you. He knows how to act. He knows how to avoid your sight. You cannot simply win against him using your current doctrines, for he already knows it like the back of his hand." And I will roll 3 diplomas.
Beautiful. You take 0 damage. And
He will take... Actually, what did you say? That
Point.
you rolled?
point.
Okay, yeah, he takes damage. He takes... 4 damage.
You're gonna hear a loud bang, and then the Fabricator General's chair makes a half rotation, and you hear in binaric. My decision will be made public after processing. Everyone rises and walks to the back of the room. You hear a faint noise of chatter as people start to talk.
Stefan, finally, his cloak finally running out of fuel, out of Promethean, only little sparks remain of its ignition. It finally retreats upon its shoulders, and Stefan can finally relax and, with a sigh of relief, looking back at Constantinius and Dustin, putting a hand on both of their shoulders, saying, "We have been successful in our mission. Well done, gentlemen." And looking also for Pridewin, seeing how he's a bit, not in his waters, saying, "Are you good, Pridewin?"
Yes.
And at this
Sorry.
point, Predwin, as you step up, you can describe what you look like to the rest.
Right now, Pridwin looks rather pale. he still has that happy smile on his face. He still just seems jovial, but he seems almost drained, sickly, afraid of something. And he just slowly turns his head over to whoever spoke to him and tiredly replies, yes?
You seem unwell. Perhaps you should get a glass of water.
I would think that'd be best.
Duskin will hand out a little flask of Amasec and say, "It's better than water. It'll get you perked right back up."
And Pridwin will take it quickly, happily, and you see him take just a sip, just enough to get a little bit and hand it back to you and nod his head. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Suddenly,
As it
the room changes color. You see red lights on the monitors in the ceiling. A binary code is going to flash several times, like images. Judge Leo Lectegale walks off the stand and towards you, Stefan. Well done. You have succeeded on all points. We have been granted authority over the council. The investigation begins now.
I wish only there could be more done. However, I believe that you will do well with these newfound powers. And we will assist you along the way.
I grant you and your Inquisitor the power to arrest the guilty members of the council. They will be exempt from the harshest punishment, but they will be exiled and stripped of their titles.
Thank you, Lord.
They will be exiled.
That is correct.
Exiled.
Is this for all crimes or just some?
You may find the two guilty parties, Artemis and Rage Floragast. They have yet to report their location. They may be attempting to escape justice.
This is most unwise. Very well. Can we rely on your support, any troops?
You may not. I will not interfere now that your Inquisitor is here.
But I assure you, friend, there is no higher honor than to help serve under the Inquisition. Surely it would do wonders for your
a
career.
disgrace for a member of the Quorum Primus to execute or harm other members. You can be seen doing it, but not me. You may go and
Not
find
even
them.
if they're heretics.
Not even if they are heretics.
Strange customs.
He
Careful with your words.
He looks annoyed and nods as your Inquisitor approaches. The Inquisitor looks to the throne where the Fabricator General is sitting, gives a slight nod, walks in your direction. The Arch-Confessor is right by his side.
Duskin will drop the one knee.
The Inquisitor steps down and is standing in front of all of you. He is lit up by the candle lights in the room, flickering a yellowish light on his face. He turns to you, Duskin, gives a nod and walks over and puts a hand on your shoulder. He has a heavy metal glove, and he sort of, as he puts it on your shoulder, you can feel this immense weight of his hand. And he's gonna look to the rest of the group. He gives a slight nod to you, Duskin. Did you describe yourself, Duskin?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. He's just gonna look to the rest of the group and look down at the ground a little bit in anticipation for your response. Because of the sensitivity of this mission and the risk of disloyalty, I install the witch hunter in your midst. Know that I do this when it suits your objectives. You have nothing to fear from him, nor from me. Your reports helped us remove members of the warband who questioned the authority of the Holy Orders and showed primary loyalty to the Mechanicus. Many disloyal acolytes have been removed from your mission based on his reports. But since we are not returning to Serix Magnus, your role as informant will no longer be necessary. Duskin, throne agent of the Hordor Hereticus. He looks to the rest of you. Do you wish to speak to your brethren about your continued service?
I would hope that my fellow acolytes understand why this was necessary, understand the reasons why I did what I did, in keeping them in the dark, and I can assure them that anything that I have said has been the truth.
The Inquisitor sort of puts up his hood, takes a couple of steps back, and just waits for you to talk it through.
However, my lord, Lord Lucius Anoxus has said that he has a present in the form of a bottle of, and he looks down at the pad and goes, Albion Scotia Single Malt. So it is one of his 12 remaining bottles, and assures you of his continued friendship and support.
He nods once. You should share it with the rest of your comrades.
My lord, it is for you, and it is from beyond the unification.
He looks with an annoyed gaze at Archconfessor Kane. Confessor Kane steps forward and grabs the bottle. Steps next to the Inquisitor. He just stands there looking at you. What do you say, guys?
My lord, these turn of events are disturbing to me. However, I understand their necessity. I also hope that you found the results of this hearing satisfactory. Has this shifted our mission in any way? The objectives of our mission in any way?
Inquisitor Castertype is just giving you a glare, looking at you all to talk amongst each other. He's not interested in talking to you.
Pridwin is completely silent, looking at the floor on one knee. He is not saying a word, and he is not moving from his spot.
My lord, is now a good time to discuss it with you, or would later be fine?
We shall meet before we depart. A storm is brewing.
Very well.
Understood.
Well, my lord, I will dismiss myself and talk with the rest of the warband.
He looks to you, Duskin. Then it is decided, Throne Agent. Will you take an oath to the Ordo Xenos and serve our continued conquest of the alien threat?
I happily take that oath. However, as was said before, I must uphold previous oaths as well, and I will suffer any consequences for misjudgment.
He gives a slight nod of the head, pulls his hood back, and with the confessor turns around and walks away. You're left standing alone in the room.
Duskin's just gonna let out a big.
In a fluid motion, Stefan will raise from his one knee on the ground. He just looks at Dustin with his crossed arms, and you can hear the leather on his gloves being stretched as he pulls his hand into a fist. Not making any moves, but in his crossed arms, he wears a very displeasing look.
James.
Duskin will stand up and look at Stefan and say, "Try it and see what happens."
James, to fill you up on what's happened, you've won the debate. You're currently standing there. The Inquisitor is in the room. Barbosa is doing a stealth mission to get the key. Where are you currently?
I'm trapped outside the building.
Okay. Yes. Have you attempted to take contact or talk to the group?
I'm heading back to the dropship. But
Okay.
I've already contacted the group and tried to tell them that Rage Florgas tried to kill me, but
Yeah.
just left it at that.
You have free communication now, the group and you. You can talk freely, so go ahead and play out what you would say to each other.
Stefan,
Yeah.
over.
Here.
Yeah. Rage Florgas tried to kill me.
Well, I cannot blame him. But yeah, he has been deemed a heretic.
Oh, well, that solves that then. Are y'all gonna chase him down and kill him?
No, our main objective will be to rendezvous with Barbosa, demonstrate that the office of the explorator matters, and then we will move to apprehend him. Where are you now?
Outside the building. Just chilling, just looking at the scenery.
Yeah,
Enjoying
well,
the shrubbery.
keep your eyes peeled. If you see any of our suspects, follow them.
Will do. I'm going to go ahead and make my way back to the dropship, though.
Yes. Along the way, you will see an unusually high number of Imperium representatives. You make it to the ship, and Barbosa. You are currently hiding behind a desk. Are you here, by the way?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. So you look out the room. There are rows of pillars and bookshelves stretching up towards this dome that you're in. A couple of Molotov servo skulls hovering in the air. And as you look over the desk, you see someone moving, a light moving back and forth. Would you like to take a closer look or do an awareness test?
I would do an awareness test, but my main mission at this point is to evade. I
Yep.
have the package. I just want to get out of there.
Gotcha.
So if there's any path I can take,
Yes.
I will. Yeah, but I'll roll an awareness.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you're looking for the fastest and best escape, and you get a slight glimpse. So I'm gonna give you a -10 awareness test.
Then I just succeed.
Yep. You're gonna see. Rage Floragasts come through the door. As he steps into the room, you see Artemis Auxiliaris greet him, the robes flowing behind them. He is sort of crouched over, he has a hunchback. As he steps into the room, you can hear the echoes of his footsteps. He points to some of the tech priests in the room. They stand at attention. You see that he has a concerned expression. He's sort of posturing and throwing his hands around, pointing, explaining. They seem to be concerned, both of them. Artemis is going to walk over to a cogitator by the desk, and speaking loudly, they're going to be accessing it. The room starts to fill with tech priests. You get an opportunity to overhear their conversation. You can do
I will do a risk management or risk assessment.
Yeah.
How risky is it for me to stay just a little longer to overhear this key thing as opposed to?
It's going to make your path to escape a little bit harder, but you're still in complete darkness, and they suspect that you're not. You're somewhere else. So.
I will take the chance to hear it then.
Minus 20 awareness test.
I succeed.
Nice. They're saying, hold on, I wasn't sure you were gonna do that. Weird. Yes. Artemis is going to turn around. He's paranoid. They have a long conversation about fortifying their chambers. The other members of the Quorum Primus are not allowed to arrest them. They say that the proceedings have not been legal, and they're going to try to fortify here in case the Inquisitors come. The other thing you hear as Artemis is accessing the cogitator is that he's attempting to erase the data. However, he needs access to the data loom.
I heard enough. I'm getting out of here.
Okay. As you run, roll a d10. And depending on your success, we're gonna do the usual sneaky stuff.
3. This is not the worst.
Excellent. There is a open hatch for you to sort of jump through as you're running through the room. You will probably be spotted, but the chance that anyone can follow you is minuscule. You can do an acrobatics test at plus 20.
I'm very silent. I time my move, and then I do the acrobatics. Oh my god, I rolled a 99, but I still succeed.
You stumble. What?
I succeed with 2 degrees of success.
Okay. So, what does it look like? There's an open hatch.
I pick up a piece. I pick up a piece of something from the floor, and I toss it in the other direction. And as soon as the object clanks on the other wall, distracting the other members, I make a dash. I almost slip, but my excellent training allows me a little awkward roll. And then as I get up again, I dive in the thing head first.
Awesome.
But and my camoline cloak, I don't know, could maybe help. If you want to, I can roll a stealth.
No need. You disappear into the hatch. The other tech priests, you see their heads turn to where the noise came. D10.
I hope it's not my old friend, the killer servitor. 3 again.
Okay. It's going to be a... As you crawl through the ventilation shaft, there is a simple electronically locked hatch that has been closed as the entire chamber has been sealed. You can do a security test plus 10.
That should work. By the way, Tabby, how far are we for the 4th sessions to get new faith points?
Did you get the same faith points as when I did?
Yeah.
We have 2 more sessions. Not the session that follows, the next one. But we have a lot of faith.
4 degrees of success.
Awesome. You access it, pull open this panel, and like rewire a couple of wires. A spark flies, and suddenly the hatch flies up. You keep going. Another D10. It starts to get
6
darker and warmer.
I put on my Prey Sense goggles.
What do you get?
6.
Climbing up the ventilation shaft, there are some metal spikes sticking out of a ferrocrete wall to a flight of stairs below. To get out of here, you can do an athletics plus 10 or a strength plus 0.
I'll do an athletics plus 10 as I calculate my trajectory and use the newfound strength in my bionic legs to give me that extra little oomph.
Nice.
7 degrees of success.
Nice.
Beautiful. You jump down from the spikes, grabbing them, sort of slide down and land on a platform. You start running, and you do a last 1d10 for me.
I almost wish I get a 10 now. I just want to face off against my dude again. 6 again. I don't want to. I was lying. I don't want to face him.
As you sneak through a well-lit corridor, the combat servitor appears around the corner. And you can do a -20 stealth test if you want to hide. If not, you have to face off the combat servitor. You're currently in the hallway of the assembly.
So, how if I win initiative with my sprint speed of 72 meters, is it possible for me to get away from him?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
He has a lot of firepower though, so
I don't want him to. I know he has a lot of firepower. So, fuck. I'm going to run for it.
okay. Do a stealth test -20.
So I'll roll a clean stealth because I have a cameline cloak. 7 degrees of success.
Beautiful. You slip around the corner and disappear. After a little while, you sort of find yourself surrounded by friendly troops, members of the Inquisition. You enter the Coram Primus chambers. You see the rest of your group, and at this moment is the exact moment we dropped off from your scene the last time. You see Barbosa walking up to you.
Barbosa comes out of the corridor. The door opens, and a almost shimmering cloaked figure comes in, and he removes his hood, and there stands Barbosa with a wicked grin.
This is your scene. I'm gonna let you take over. What do you do?
I guess the Inquisitor is there as well.
He's in the stands, just talking to the Confessor.
While the cats have been gone, the mice have been dancing on the table, and what a lavish feast they have had. They have brought much cheese to their families.
If I'm looking at this shimmering cloak figure, knowing exactly who that might be from the temper of his voice. So I expect you've been successful.
I have. However, I'm feeling jittery. I wish to safely store this as soon as possible. Is that who is that over there?
Witchfinder. Alongside our Inquisitor.
Oh.
Well, as he looks at Dustin, some of our Inquisitor.
Duskin will raise an eyebrow at him and just go back to listen to what Barbosa is saying.
I'm gonna roll a scrutiny because I sort of didn't really understand what happened with Duskin earlier and this sort of new situation. What am I reading from the body language of Stefan and Duskin's new posturing? What?
You would see this
Hold on a
disgust
second.
upon Stefan's face.
That's nothing new.
Like, full on, this is...
So, Duskin will walk forward and hold his hand out for Barbosa and say, Duskin Lightfoot of Salamas, Ordo Hereticus.
Out of character. What am I supposed to make out of this? Aren't we all Ordo Hereticus?
Nope.
No, you're Ordo
You're
Xenos.
Xenos.
Oh, so he...
Has been investigating yous.
Wait, is he an Inquisitor? Is he an Inquisitor or just
He's
another...
an informant.
I give a cock smile to Duskin. Well, I hope you haven't found us lacking, Duskin of Ordo Hereticus.
Sadly, some have been found lacking, but they have been dealt with. You, however, I have concerns.
Well, if we could postpone these concerns until at least this object I'm holding has been safely deposited, that would be
Thank you.
very good.
To which point, what he called, he's actually going to smile and say, don't worry, I have concerns about everyone.
Barbosa's shoulders will lower a little more relaxed at that, and nod. Well, would it be? I look at all of them. Will it be impromptu of me to interrupt the Inquisitor?
I suppose it depends on what you have.
A matter that shouldn't be discussed.
I believe this is our purpose here, so it is of high value that you deliver this immediately. However, be polite.
I am going to go and stand away from earshot of the Inquisitor, but posing myself as he would notice that I am waiting my turn for him.
Archconfessor Kane looks in your direction. He's wearing dark leathery vest and a cape. He brushes his grey hair back and steps down from the stand, walks over to look at you, and you feel an easy, quivering feeling penetrate your bones. He looks at you with a penetrating gaze. You wish to address the Inquisitor?
Yes, my lord. Or is he a lord? I follow protocol, I don't know.
Well, what is the matter?
A parcel, sir.
He reaches out one hand.
I go closer to him, and I look for. Is there any cameras here?
No, the machine has left.
I take out the black box containing the Rillis Apocrypta.
Haha, nice, nice. All right, the Inquisitor is going to sort of not pay any notice to this. He is not expecting you to have it at all, as since you haven't mentioned it to him. The Archconfessor takes out a hand, grabs the notes.
Well, it's in the box, so you have to open it.
Yep. I assume this is of great importance, since you are presenting it to me here, and we have more important matters to deal with.
I would like to think so, my lord.
Very well. Be on your way. He turns around and walks up to the Inquisitor.
I turn around with this sort of a smile that you can remember if you ever went to like school at Virginia when like the nerd in the class delivered a test and got straight A's.
You get 1 fate point. By that I mean you recover 1 fate point. And you have now... You count as having succeeded a main objective. That means that you get certain bonuses with the promotion and blah blah blah. We can get into that later.
That's fine, but that can happen in character. Either way, I would not be able to do this without the party, and this is all a concerted effort. Anyways, but can I regain a fate point that I burned?
Yep.
A threshold?
That's what I meant.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
Take your glory, Barbosa. You earned it.
Alright. Whenever you are the last one to succeed a main objective and you do the deed, you regain a fate point. Or a great act in the story. Yeah.
Barbosa is going to go to the others and fall down on his knees, and he's gonna start crying tears of relief. This might almost be done soon. He whispers in a sort of almost crying, smiling way.
Stefan bending down, squatting next to him, saying, "Well, unfortunately, our job is not done yet."
Also, I almost forgot. While I was deep inside the Explorator Fleet's or Artemis's offices, he had a rendezvous with Rage Floragast. The two of them seemed concerned. I only dared to stay for a moment to eavesdrop. They were about to fortify their positions. They're expecting us, or some kind of result. They are also moving to eradicate all evidences of their involvement. They're purging their files this very moment.
The Confessor has already approached with a half-open mouth of amazement. He's standing next to you in air's range, overhearing your conversation.
This will not do. This is extremely concerning.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm afraid we cannot assault their position just us.
On the other hand, I do believe I was mostly unobserved. I believe our little theft has gone beneath notice. As far as they go to actually check, they will notice that their cash has been stolen. Which might spur to panic them even further. I don't know. But they're on guard.
The Inquisitor is standing next to Leo Lectigale, and they are having an intense conversation. The Inquisitor looks in your direction.
I have gotten up and I have not shown any tears now.
Fridman will slowly get up now and rejoin the party.
Yes.
Is the interrogator nearby?
The Confessor?
The Confessor, sorry.
Yeah, he's right next to you.
I'm not having a good time being around this Confessor.
Stefan will approach him quite bluntly, saying, "Confessor, do you have your men with you?"
As in all matters, the Inquisitor decides. What do you will of them?
The apprehension of the two tech heretics, Rage Florgast and the Explorator Fleet Mados.
He looks over his shoulder, and he seems to be getting a message on his microbead. The Inquisitor has granted you access to the chambers of Artemis and Rage. You are to apprehend them immediately. He will join you.
Understood. Please warn the Inquisitor or everyone involved that they are expecting us and are fortifying, also purging their data files this very moment.
He gives a sort of a hostile glare on his eyes, and he points to the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor is going to step off the stand with his giant power armor, and he is reaching for a gun as he walks over to the steps. You can hear his mechanical voice through the mask. Follow me.
Yes, Lord.
Sorry, just to say, because I was away, Duskin has taken possession of a black leather book and has chained it to a silver chain that hangs at his hip, and has written on the 4th page Rage Forecast and the Navigator General's name. It says with little dashes afterwards. And follows the rest of them out.
The Explorator Magus Prime, yeah.
That's the last one.
You step down the stairs, and the Inquisitor walks first. His robe and his hood sort of occasionally illuminated as he casts this giant shadow over you. As you walk through the hallways, you can hear the echoes of your footsteps. A couple of combat servitors join you. The Inquisitor and the Archconfessor grab their weapons from your chamber that you've been staying in. The Inquisitor has a large plasma weapon. He steps out of the room and he points into the armory for all of you to arm yourselves.
Nice.
If any of you have any armor, any special heavy armor, any power armor, this is the time to don it.
I'm afraid.
It's almost like I've been waiting to use it.
Hell yeah. You have one, don't you? Light
I don't have any power armor, but can I just pick up power armor? just like, gear up, sons, and this is like you're walking into.
It would be cool, but no, this was not planned. It's you just have the stuff that you had. So whatever gear you have, you pick it up and use it.
Would
I'll
Doc
everyone
be
will-
informed that this is happening, or is Doc just gonna chill out?
Oh
with
yeah,
shit?
yeah. You have time to make it up there.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab the rocket launcher and some Kraken missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Stefan will take Lemnos Bat and Gorgon Heavy Flamer.
Gridwar's
What?
just gonna polish off the rest of his amosec in his flask and just sadly look at it. Oh, I am going to be regretting this later.
I just need
Is there... I don't suppose we have any melt-arounds, do we?
As you step out of the room, the Archconfessor grabs your giant flamer, your heavy flamer, Stefan. Excommunicated members of the Council have no right to live. Do not spare any of them. Burn them all.
Oh yeah.
Fear not, my
By
lord.
his will.
Jim, is there by chance a graph dispenser in the armory?
Yes. I'm gonna say they have it just for this task, and as you leave the room, the Archconfessor and Inquisitor leads the way. You have a couple of servants with them, and combat servitors. As you walk through the hallways, you form this, as you look around, you just see this heavily armed group of very intimidating large figures. Whenever you see a tech priest, they scurry away to the side of a wall and hug the wall as you pass through with your inquisitorial banner. The confessor is going to lead you down some stairs and through a very familiar hallway. You sort of zigzag back and forth. The double doors to the Explorator Magos Prime's chamber is right in front of you. The Archconfessor stops. You hear the Inquisitor loading his plasma weapon. What do you do?
I have to ask also, is that null rod effect still here? Is it still present?
No, it is not. It seemed to be local to the assembly. Current premise.
Oh, okay. That's good. Because I didn't want to start Perils of the Warping this
Yep.
early.
Your psychic powers are beaming and active.
Good.
When Doc does rejoin the group, he's just gonna look at Duskin and pass off the missile launcher.
And yeah, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, I know you are.
Stefan with the holy incense will burning from his fingertips, will pass over his flamer, which I just figured out it's not a heavy flamer. He will pass over the incense and say, "May the tears of the three saints rend their armor apart. Let their metal be nothing but rust and broken bolts." As the flamer begins to hum and the pilot ignites.
Beautiful. You hear this slight as the fire is turned on. Occasionally you'll hear a loading of a magazine, and Confessor stands before the door.
Barbosa is only wearing his combat vest. His bare bionic legs are visible underneath. He has this makeshift satchel around his back and a camoline cloak and no armor. Adorned upon his chest are 2 photon flash grenades, 7 blind grenades, and 4 stun grenades, and he's holding his sniper with some spare magazines.
The Inquisitor
The
Inquisitor whispers under his tongue. Be my guardians, loyal servants. You have my blessing to judge our enemies and deliver them. The Confessor is going to step up to the door.
I have encountered their securities already. I can at least tell you that they have some heavily armored combat servitors and a dedicated squadron of Skitari.
He's going to nod. Standing in front of the door, he seems to just be waiting.
Pridwin will interlace his fingers and just pray. He's ready. He's waiting. He's just looking ahead.
Stefan moving beside him, wearing his armor, however no longer wearing the Mechanicus robes embroidered with aluminum runes, now wearing ecclesiastical uniform green with what seems to be roots along his sleeves and chest. Or the runes embroidered in.
And Duskin will be standing towards the back slightly with the rocket launcher over his shoulder, fully loaded with a crack missile. Says, aiming to take down one of the heretics to begin with, right off the bat, and with an icy cold smile on his face as though this is what he was born to do.
Confessor Kane turns around. Be his shield. The Inquisitor stands behind you.
Stefan steps front. My life, my duty, all are given to him to do as he pleases.
He, with a powerful jolt, pushes the 2 doors open, and you hear them slide as the locking mechanism cracks up, revealing a large chamber. It is silent. At the end of it, you see Auxiliaris Artemis and Rage Florigast. They are standing next to pillars, surrounded by what looks like 10, 12 tech priests and a couple of combat servitors. Your combat servitors walk up and form kind of a wall. The Inquisitor, walking behind you, whispers, "Deliver our demands."
Dead heretics, heathens! Your existence has been tolerated far enough. It is our duty to rid of you, of your life. Return to nothing. That is where you belong.
I am going
Those
to
who
wait. I'm going to
question
quickly.
me, I
Doc,
wonder
I believe
their
this belongs to
motives.
you. I give you back your haywire grenade.
Rage Florgast is going to step out in the middle of the room. "You do not yet have the right to apprehend us, servants of the Imperium. This is a matter for the Mechanicus."
The
As
God Emperor gives us the right.
And any of you can roll a fellowship test with a
I'm going to roll a
minus
stealth test.
minus 40 to the fellowship.
any fellowship.
Any fellowship.
Minus
And you, Barbosa, can do a minus 30 stealth test since you are in a lit room.
3 degrees of success.
You disappear.
I'm afraid of the minus 40 test. But I'll roll it.
Have no fear, Stefan is here. What happened, Stefan?
I got close. I had a 3% chance to get it. I got close.
Not bad. Stefan, how did you do?
Success with 8 additional.
With a minus
Can
40?
you roll charm?
Yeah.
Fuck.
He rolled a 5.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Rage Florius is going to sort of point to the door. "If you get a green light from the Fabricator General himself, we surrender willingly. For now, you are to leave these chambers. You are not welcome here."
You are no longer under the blessings of the Fabricator General. You are to lower your weapons and receive his judgment.
You can do a minus 50 judgment test.
Oh, you fool.
Meanwhile, Barbosa has positioned himself hidden with his chameleon cloak, aiming straight at the Rage Florgast's head with a
Minus
sniper, with a hair trigger sniper rifle.
Yes. I'm going to say you're hiding behind a chair on a desk next to the librarian. Go ahead, Sal.
minus 40?
Mm,
40 or 30?
for the
Minus
what?
50.
No, I
For
said
the
minus,
judgment.
minus 50.
Minus 50, okay.
Yeah.
So from striped things, it's gonna be a minus 40. Success with 3.
Jesus. What do you point to? What do you bring out to convince them that you have the right to be here?
Oh, I have something. He will literally climb as their servitors, as both ours and their servitors approach upon each other. He will climb on one of our servitors, and on a scroll he will unleash the canticles of righteousness, a scroll imbibed in holy ointments, declaring that their judgment supersedes and is supported by both the holy scriptures of Metallica 4.2 and by the I
Did you say
forgot
Metallica?
yeah, Metallica is basically their book of laws. I forgot which is the Imperial book of laws.
Hey,
Lex Mechanic
before
Lex-
all while
Lex Imperialis.
Lex
Wait, I wanna-
Imperialis.
before all of this, I just want to say I want to set up booby traps instead of aiming. I want to put like stun grenade traps here,
Yeah.
here, and
Good
here.
idea. That's
and
a,
here's-
I
that's
can't
going to be a
see the
security
screen.
test. We can place little tokens where you need the traps to be.
Let's roll the security first, though.
I can't see the map at all. It's just
Yeah,
black.
Scroll to the right, middle right.
I mean, I've zoomed all the way out. There's nothing I can see.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, his token's not there.
Gotcha. I'll paste it there. Hold on.
Oh no, it is.
Morton, do I see the Skitari that I messed with earlier over there on their side?
Yes.
I've
Okay.
seen nothing though. Sad.
Just zoom out of your map. Maybe you don't have vision. That's. Oh my god, there's a lot of guys here.
Stefan is in the process of talking them down, and Stefan, you can
I rolled a
continue.
5 on my security test.
Yes.
Is that a token? Or?
That's a token.
Keep in mind, I have judgment full.
I'm gonna give you control of it, Barbosa. Place your
Yeah.
traps where you want them to be.
I have 4 traps.
Okay, I'm gonna make you do a minus 40 security test first.
Minus 40. Did I also recover a fate point when you gave me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm spending my fate point to automatically.
Yes.
It's a bit of a delicate situation. I don't want them seeing us trapping this place and then.
No, that would be a hostile action, to be sure.
Yeah.
There's your 2 other traps.
Here we go. And then I'm gonna slink off.
Okay. That looked very sneaky. You can do a minus 30 stealth test.
Could you give me vision real quick?
Yep.
I'm very scared too. I also need vision. I'm very scared what's happening. How many am I talking down right now?
Yeah, you don't want to know.
20. You're talking about
Do you
20
see now,
people.
Pridman?
Thank you. Now I can.
Who cannot
I
see?
just-
Anyone else?
Me, Stefan.
Alright. And fixed.
Now I
What-
can see it. Thank you
what
very
are-
much.
Are these like tables, like benches, or
No,
pillars?
those are bookshelves. Those are bookshelves, and this is a table.
Okay,
I'm
here I
actually
will be.
exactly where I want to be.
Actually, I want to stand here.
Oh yeah, that's good.
1 degree of success on my stealth test.
Excellent. You succeed. Stefan?
I succeeded with 3 additional in judgment.
Beautiful. As you explain it to him, Artemis is going to step forward. He looks he has a betrayed expression on his face. We are able to use the same.
What's this? An escape hatch?
Can't have that.
You have been able to make it to our chambers several times. You are capable and no doubt have authority in the Imperium. However, this is a forge world. Your authority does not reach here, Inquisitor.
Matters not. The Ordo's juris has granted us our authority, and if you remember from the results of the trial, they supersede you now.
You can do another fellowship test at minus 50.
Whew. Minus 50. Should I spend? Nah. Okay, yeah, I should have spent that fate point. I'm gonna use inspiration to reroll that.
Yes.
I have something I could do if need be. It would cost a fate point, but I have it written out.
Success with 1 additional. Jesus Christ.
Nice. Artemis has a dismayed expression on his face. Several of the tech priests look like doubtful and start looking at each other. One of them lowers his weapon in preparation. Artemis steps forward. You may have the right, however, we also have rights. A right to disassemble our position here. You will give us 1 day, and then we will leave.
Unnecessary. You have already been observed besmirching evidence. The order is clear. You are to be apprehended. Fear not. Your resistance will be... the punishment will be light in honor of your position. However, if you attempt to resist, well, we will have no other choice now, will we?
Do a deceive test at -50.
Fuck!
A slap on the wrist is what you will get.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use a fate point to get a +10. Okay. -50, eh? Oh, fuck.
Arms are heavy.
Knees weak, mom spaghetti. Oh,
Motherfucker.
God!
Wow.
That +10 was clutch.
Artemis looks defeated, dismayed. They are in the verge of breaking the tech priests, dropping their weapons. A few of them have raised their hands in the air. You can do a final -50 command test.
Oh.
And anyone can do this.
I could do something. It would cost me a fate point, but it would be a assured success.
Go
Do
for
it.
it.
Do it. Do it, because I ain't liking my chances.
Command the one.
Gridwin will take a step up and just his fingers still interlocked. Why do you continue to waste our time? Why do you continue to make a mockery of us, of this, of our Inquisitor? You know your judgment is just, and I see your men know it too. We are not here to cause pain or suffering. We are here to do what is right, and we are here to do the will of the Emperor. We are here to do only what we are asked to do. This is our duty. And at this point, your duty is to come peacefully, to come without causing chaos, without causing strife. That is what we simply ask, and that is what your duty now asks of you. And I will burn a fate point to use Sway the Masses, and because I'm a Hierophant character, I automatically succeed with 6 degrees of success on that command.
Motherfucker.
Clutch
Tech priests start dropping their weapons one by one. You see them form a line, and they just start marching out of the room. Artemis, in a desperate attempt as his voice modulator crackles, commands them to stop. However, they all leave the room. Artemis and Auxiliaris and Rage Florigast hesitantly steps forward. As you come walking through the room, Artemis and Rage are going to drop their weapons. The same with everyone else.
Quickly, can I stop the Skatari that I had, made some changes to before he leaves the room?
Yes.
Okay, which one is it?
This guy.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say I need to do maintenance on you again real quick.
What do you do?
I want to. So, can I roll Forbidden Lore, Inquisition, to see if we've already developed some wetware to install into Skatari to make them loyal to us? I don't know if that's something that we already designed or not.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and...
No, probably not.
I'm gonna use my inspiration point.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
No, definitely not.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and start doing the
Sätt dem ner
maintenance
för du blir skadad och...
Is your English failing you, my man? What is going on here?
Okay,
Good.
I'm just gonna... Can I use a tech use to try and change some of the software I put into them?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do a -20 tech use.
Scary. I just look at him and I say, in the name of his most holy Ordos, the Inquisition, you must remain with me until I can fix you.
He stays behind, and you can basically auto-succeed.
Okay.
You're trying to disable the mechanism?
I'm trying to change it to where he'll register the party as allies and bring him with us.
Alrighty. That is basically a reinforcement character. I'm going to let you auto-succeed. You have enough time to do it. The way this basically works is that he is currently scheduled to be turned into a servitor. As someone who has betrayed the machine spirit, and you can basically you can take him as property. He has no value to the assembly anymore. We don't have to roleplay that, but yeah.
Barbosa is going to say on the microbeat to everyone, careful. The whole sector around the tables and the bookshelves have been booby-trapped to cover the other exit. Do not move close to it. I will remove them as soon as the suspects have been apprehended.
Excellent.
I'll return to the Inquisitor's side because I'm puppy dogging around him. I'm making sure that if something goes wrong, I can throw myself in front of him to keep him safe.
I'm gonna go and stand in front of him, and I'm gonna have the Skitarii come and stand just a little bit to his left.
By the authority of the Holy Orders, I seize all your assets. He points to the cogitator. Retrieve the information we need.
My Inquisitor, he also contained some Xenos artifacts in his laboratorium.
Retrieve
That
it.
mechanic is... Yes, my lord. And as he says that, I just quickly turn around and head to Rage's room to ransack it of all its artifacts.
Yes. We can automate that. Anyone else?
Barbosa's going over here and picks up this trap.
Stefan will go to the test sheepishly, making sure to study for any of the traps that Barbosa said, asking through the microbit saying, Barbosa, I can take care of the documentation, but I think you're better at soothing the machine spirit than I am.
Already way ahead of you, my friend.
I suppose Duskin's gonna go up and remove any kind of armaments or weapons that they happen to hold, knowing that they probably have more in their bodies, but...
Yes. Yep.
Would the Corpus Illuminator join us now?
The Corpus Illuminator is free from his duties. You can meet him as his officio. So we can, whatever you want to accomplish with him.
I am going to go down to the elevator to the cogitator. I already know where everything is.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's to the left, and you take the elevator down, going down to the cogitator. Nothing is going to happen to you.
Do I get like some data slates to put all this information on?
There are data sets all over this place. You can
I go and deal with that. So I know the code and the passwords. This time I don't have to hack it through the reflection of my... I'm intimately familiar with this place, and the feeling of not being afraid of getting shot is really something.
Yes. As you're down in the lab, as soon as you enter, you see flashing screens of data scrap code being run on the data loom. It is in the process of deleting everything.
All right. I rush over to the computer, analyze the amount of the scrap code, what it has been afflicting already. Is the personal file still intact?
It is.
So perhaps I quickly estimate if it's possible to cancel the scrap code, but I lost internet, I think. Hello?
Yeah,
we hear you. We hear you.
Oh, Roll20. I have 503 service unavailable.
No, that's okay. Roll20 is having problems. But go ahead.
Roll20 not.
So I will attempt to put on the data transfer, and the first thing I'll do, I'll isolate my data slate from the scrap code, put in the data slate, copy the folders from the personal files on the secured location. While that's processing, I will going to stop trying to limit the scrap code.
Yeah. Do a security test -50.
Okay, I just got back into Roll20.
These are some scary rolls.
Yep.
I should have saved my security roll. Maybe not. Maybe we would have been fighting then if I failed that.
I can roll for you. You succeed.
Oh, nice.
Love you.
Alright. Detaching a machine that has been sort of hooked onto the cogitator, you rip it out. Wires and sparks start flying. You grab a couple of levers, pull them down, a punch card comes out, and you very quickly insert your data state, copying all the remaining data onto it. From the personal file, this is all they had as their personal records. The overall logs and data of the explorator fleets are no longer being deleted. The machines stop flickering. The screen is no longer displaying this broken code and walls of text and numbers. You sort of look at this thing that you pulled off, throwing sparks on the floor, and again the room fills with this heavy silence.
As a little professional curiosity and a little bit of probably some of my teachings from coming from a death roll that waste not, want not. I'm interested in this scrap code, its design, and how it's built. I want to pick up a fresh data slate, and I'm going to try to root the source of this scrap code that is used to scramble this data. And if able, I want to source it, copy it, and isolate it on my data slate so I can inspect it later, perhaps.
Yes. Excellent. You can do a tech use test at -40.
There is no faith points in my bank to secure this, but here we go.
I give you my inspiration point.
I'll use my own. I'll use my own, but thank you.
One reroll.
Yes!
Oh, nice. The scrap code is baited onto your data slate by moving some files that are next in its line of targeting. You place it over and it follows the bait. Very quickly, within a few seconds, the data on your data slate is being attacked. At that moment, you detach it and you freeze the process. The entire code of the the scrap code, is now on the data slate, so you can analyze it and reproduce it.
I take the cartridge out of the cogitator and blow on it.
As you do.
Because it's as you do. And I stash it securely, and I with a whistle, a little tune, a little nursing tune from Yanth as I walk proudly up the elevator carrying the large data slates.
Awesome. He returns to the room to the rest of you, and he's carrying a data slates. What do you say, Barbosa?
Previously, we have been able to locate the exact locations of Artemis Auxiliaris secured and hidden away personal file storages in his cogitator. The scrap code that was initiated was not able to erase it, and I believe I have withdrawn the entire data file here on this cogitator hard drive data slate. As well, I was able to isolate and locate the scrap code they were using. I did not recognize it and thought of it of interest. It is currently kept imprisoned in this data slate. Do open with care and do not plug it into. Be careful when plugging it into any cogitator systems. But it could be beneficial for analytics later.
He says to the rest of you.
Well, by me, you've proven yourself quite indispensable. Well, I guess doing the impossible is your speciality by this point.
Thank you, those are very kind words.
A group of tech priests fill the room. They walk up to Exiliaris and Rage. As they're kneeling on the ground, they take what looks like a stun gun, place it on their necks, and you hear a loud electrical discharge. Rage falls limp on the ground. They pick him up, same with Auxiliaris, and then they just carry them as if they were garbage out of the room.
Before that, our orders by the Inquisitor was to kill them, correct?
The Inquisitor remains stationary, not taking action, as they're carried away.
No, but previously, this is what he ordered us.
Yes.
In that case, as soon as they are limp, Stefan will unleash his Gorgon chemical flamer upon their limp bodies. Using divine protection not to kill these Hikaris.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Shit.
I was gonna ask. Oh, I think Romania just got bombed. Anyway, yeah, you kill them. Flamer goes off, and they're dead. You just see the burning, scorched bodies of Rage and Artemis on the ground. As they are carried away, the tech priests do not even, they don't even care that they're being burned.
I guess the death switch trap goes off in the desk somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Kill switch.
Didn't you deactivate it?
No.
You did.
I put it.
I
Yeah.
thought you did. I thought you removed it.
I did remove it, but I thought I put it back in. But
it's not relevant. They're carried out of the room, and the Inquisitor remains standing, just looking around the room. What do you do, guys?
I kneel before the Inquisitor.
Going to... Sorry, go ahead, man.
No,
No, go for it.
Ja.
No, I'm
bare spise
happy
resten.
with just doing this.
Jo, men jeg skal ikke ha mer. Jeg skal ikke ha mer.
Okay, well, I'm gonna walk up to the Inquisitor, kneel before him, and say, My lord, we have found heretical books upon these shelves beforehand. With your leave, I would like to see if there's any more, and put them to the torch.
The Inquisitor has a serious, grim expression on his face. He just looks in your direction.
My lord, I must protest that this rash course of action, kneeling before him. They may contain valuable intelligence that can assist us with the destruction of the warpsmith. Instead, I suggest we archive them and ensure that the clerks specialized in censor can decode their meaning.
Let me reinforce what I meant. They will be scrutinized by the proper authorities and then put to the torch. If they are prescribed books, they have been prescribed for a reason.
Very well, then we will only dispose of them until their usefulness has been deemed null.
Custer Type turns around. The Fabricator General will judge the members of the council. We have what we came for.
And as soon as he says that, I will be making my way back into the room with Corpus Illuminator C36 and the treasure trove from Rage Floorgas's room.
Yes.
There is one more matter to at least be mentioned.
Oh.
During our investigations, we have found out that there is a war present, which I'm sure we have told him about this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we believe that there might be foulness brewing within the house in Machiavelli's compounds. Their gene labs a nesting place for chaos and wicked experimentations.
It is being cleansed as we speak. The Death Watch have arrived.
upon hearing all of that, Pridwin will just shudder. Like, oh boy.
But Doc makes his way forward and presents himself to the Inquisitor and introduces the Corpus Illuminator.
As you come walking in, the disheveled and bothered Corpus Illuminator steps up to the Inquisitor. James?
Yeah. Am I speaking for Corpus Illuminator?
No. What are you doing?
I'm just introducing the Inquisitor to woman and saying that the Corpus Illuminator will be joining us
You are too young to make these decisions.
as a valuable asset.
If you will have me on the ship, I promise to be of service to you in the future. Honorable Inquisitor.
He bows, and at that moment you're going to see Mordecai come into the room. Mordecai looks at the bodies on the ground and seems pleased as he walks over to the rest of you.
I go up to him as if I'm going to give him a hug, and I stop. Does he get angry at me?
It is good to see you again, James.
Oh, this is a different occasion, I guess, to share with you.
Thank you for what you did for me.
Anything for our Inquisitor.
He nods, walks over to the Inquisitor. Before you leave, he has a little briefing. You are ordered to, as soon as possible, return to the space station to be extracted to the Inquisitorial vessel. But first, he calls you up to meet the Fabricator General one last time. Confessor Kane and Caster Typhon, unless you have anything more to tell them, will leave the room. Alright. You have a little moment. Anything you want to do or say before you have the final meeting with the Fabricator General?
I look over at Pridwin and I call him over hastily.
I'll come over.
And I call Duskin over hastily.
Barbosa will stand in the middle and say,
Yeah, why not?
everyone, I know that we have had our indifferences, and there has been squabbles, but we, against all odds, have succeeded our mission. And I must remind everyone.
James looks expectingly at Barbosa.
And I must remind everyone that we have served in our best capacity and purpose, and we have been found victorious and triumphant. None of this would be possible without any other member of this team, and it has been a pleasure serving with all of you.
Yes,
now,
well, let us hope the Inquisitor keeps us together.
Now, let us conclude this business with the Fabricator General, and as we return to the Inquisitorial battlecruiser, I will make sure to dig up some of the finest Amatec possible and resources, and we will have us a giant feast, and we can all laugh about this later. It will be stories we tell. Probably not, as this is all classified, but the ladies will be impressed nonetheless.
Nice. You, unless you have anything more to say, you... yeah, go ahead, James.
I'm gonna produce that Eldar sword that's been merged with the Mechanicus alloy, and I'm going to hand that to Pridwin.
I'll like gently take it and look at it, like, and on Pridwin's face you can see a mix of confusion and just confusion mainly, and he gives you a look that begs the question, why are you giving me this, or what's this for?
Just to clarify with you real quick, Morton, that is Eldar Force Sword that was made, like, I guess, broken, then remade into, like,
exactly, modified to be used by him. That is correct.
It doesn't have any psychic effects left on it, does it? Or does it still
No.
retain some of that?
No, it's gonna have a slight signature from when it was used by the Eldari, but it's very faint.
So it's not a force sword anymore? Dang.
It's kind of modified and weakened, weakened version of it.
If we were to put a soul stone into the hilt of it, where the palm was at, would that do anything?
Yep. It would make it operational.
Okay,
you could modify it to be a fully operational force sword.
Okay. Actually, I just look at Pridwin and I say, hold on to this for a while. I'll see if I can get it working again.
I'll nod and I'll nod and just hold it. All right.
And Duskin will look at both of yous, raise an eyebrow, and go with a face of what the actual fuck.
Well, I don't know if we could use this or not. I don't know if any of our party could use it if it were to be fixed. But I feel like it would be a valuable asset for Pridwin. Give him something to channel into.
See.
And his face then just curls into a sort of idea that essentially I'm going to have a constant migraine being around these people.
Yeah, and after James passes by Pridwin, he's just gonna whisper to Duskin, if he goes crazy, kill him.
Before I leave, I want to rifle through Artemis's desk and look among the literature that they have. Not the forbidden. Actually, no. I just want to look amongst the literature and see what there is. Like if there's anything that necessarily needs destroying now, that wouldn't be good for any of us to have.
Do a forbidden lore, the warp tests. +10.
Okey-doke. +10.
1 degree.
Oh.
Success.
Nice.
So what's being learned?
Always call out what you roll. What you roll?
Oh, sorry, success.
I'm looking at like 10 different things.
The warp. He rolled the warp.
Yeah, what did you roll?
I rolled the warp.
Yeah, result.
Success. Just
success. 1 degree.
Among the literature are tomes on the warp. As you begin reading them, some of them have personal notes. They describe the pandemonium, this warp storm that is slowly engulfing Askellon. From his notes, you can discern. Actually, I want you to do a logic test at -10.
I don't have any things in logic, so wouldn't that be -30 for me total?
Yep.
Okay. Oh!
So your brain stopped working.
I can't even succeed that. Wow.
Yeah, you read through it and it's interesting, but it seems irrelevant. It seems heretical to be sure.
I'll snap it shut and put it back. Alright, cool.
Barbosa also has a weird hunch. He wants to go over these files and look for any ties to the Faceless trade.
Excellent. You can do a forbidden lore.
Sorry.
Criminology.
Criminal cartels and smugglers.
And just as what he called Pedwin snaps the book closed, if he was to look back, he'll actually see Duskin's head snapped to him.
I just look at him like, yes.
And he just stares at you with his grey eyes. Sorry, with his blue eyes. He just stares at you.
His color shifting eyes.
His color shifting eyes.
Fridwin gives you a light chuckle and waves at you with his bionic hand.
Nice. Yeah, just a friendly like, hello.
Does
How
anyone
do you-
want to give me
how
an
do you
inspiration
respond?
point?
How do you respond to
Yeah,
that,
you can take, you
Duskin?
can take mine. Duskin doesn't actually respond at all and just gives him the icy cold stare.
Okay.
Can I go
I'm-
rifle through his desk now?
Yes,
After that?
absolutely. You step up to his
And
desk.
Duskin will
There's a
follow.
Single candle there. Duskin is right behind you.
I failed in my attempts to unravel any links of the Faceless Trade.
You go through his personal records. There seems to be something interesting here, but as you go through it, you don't really put the pieces together of what it could be.
Maybe I'll just bring all the pieces and someone smarter than me can look at it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Do you want me to attempt it?
Door
Yeah,
stuck.
try. Yeah, dude, that's the best option. I don't have anything forbidden for that. I mean, my
So-
infused knowledge don't even work.
Stefan will pull a chair and in front of a desk, and he will attempt. He will wait for you to bring him the books.
I'm gonna say that the table is filled with tomes at this moment. The books are opened, you're taking notes, you're putting bookmarks on them, pulling them up, tome after tome, flipping through the pages. The whole table is full of them. One after another, Barbosa drops another tome, and you flip through it, Stefan.
Would you say that these are documented findings of Forbidden Lord?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Like those are books containing Forbidden Lord, correct?
They are records written by Artemis.
In that case, I can freely reroll using Archivist.
Excellent.
Fuck.
I'm an idiot. I'll sit down. Like I'll look at Artemis's desk for a moment before turning and sit down, and I'll look at the room with Synicius to see if there's any strong taint of the warp here. Like anything in particular that I could find.
So you look around, there is nothing.
Oh, not like I would have known anyways.
I do succeed in the warp roll. Not the warp. The warp that Bridewind did.
Forbidden Lord of the Warp?
Yeah, using
Okay.
Activator. Can I roll logic?
Yes.
Success with what?
Okay. The Explorator Magus Prime has been in contact with an entity that is hiding within the warp. However, it is of a different nature. As you read about the warp energy he's talking about, you can do a Forbidden Lore Xenos test at -10.
Which Xenos?
Eldari.
I'll help you.
What
But I
type
don't
of
want
test is it? I have Eldari. I have that. So
You go help
don't.
him instead then, because I don't want insanity points from learning and discovering what this means.
I will say, if it starts to verge into demonology, y'all do know that Pridwin knows some about demonology.
Okay, 3 degrees success for Xenos.
Excellent, Stefan. The Explorator Magus Prime has been in contact with what seems to be, to you, something communicating through a webway portal. He is communicating with an Eldari craft world. He has been organizing his efforts and making deals with them in regard to expanding the Mechanicus' reach.
Is Stefan relaying this information to me?
You would see how he would have removed his gloves, and from the tip of his fingers, mechanic blue rays of lights from his striped thighs begin showering the boots in front of him. The boots flipping themselves as the striped thighs do their work, and you'd see how the anger and disgust upon his face emanating even further, and he relays the information.
I put a hand on Stefan's shoulder and I say, if it is this serious, you must share it.
The Metenitus, this lost soul, this heathen, the explorator madness, I cannot even bring myself. Thrice blessed his name be. He thinks that working with the Eldari can further the Mechanicus's goals.
Such
Unbelievable.
foul Xenos heresy.
It is worse. He's been in contact with something known as the Straft world. Are you aware of what this is?
Yes, this is one of their giant ships that actually contains the last vestiges of their civilization, primarily.
Good. We will relay this message to our Inquisitor and rid ourselves of their existence.
Stefan's
Did you get
ominous
a
voice
location?
echoes through the hall. The table is lit up by candles at this moment. You brought all the candles over and it's well lit. The mechanical lights and lumen have been turned off as the bodies have been carried out. You're all alone in the room. There's an eerie silence.
I asked Stefan if he has a location for the craft world, or if it's just a general idea.
Barbosa is going to go and check in the hallways of the exits and inspect the doors patrolling and the perimeters. Somehow he doesn't feel like we rooted out everything on this planet, and he would hate for anyone to ambush us.
Noted. You can do a... even though you're not doing the action specifically, you can do a navigate warp test at +0. You are using... What you're doing is taking all the coordinates mentioned in his notes. You are triangulating them and trying to figure out what they have been doing.
1 degree of success.
Oh. Someone has it.
Oh,
Excellent.
2 degrees.
Fuck you!
I also have navigate warp
Damn.
just for lulz. I'll roll
Oh, I
it.
don't even have that learned. That was just a lucky roll.
Yeah.
Would I roll scrutiny to investigate Artemis's desk?
Yeah, sure. Looking at the notes, what exactly were you trying to figure out about the craft world?
It's
Just trying to
located.
Its
yes,
location.
trying
Uh,
to
rough.
triangulate an overall
Yes.
location. 'Cause I figure that's the most we can do. We probably won't be able
Yes.
to pinpoint it.
The communication through the astropaths have been going into the edge of the pandemonium. The craft world is just sitting on the outer rim of the pandemonium, in a place where normal signals don't reach. It is a very dangerous place to be, but it's a way that they avoid being discovered. It is fairly close to Ceres Magnus.
I look at Stefan and I say, if you could parlay with the Inquisitor and see if he could figure out a way to get a cyclonic torpedo onto a ship that we could fly to this craft world, we might be able to smuggle it inside the craft world and detonate it.
I will
Thus, crippling
will not
that craft
dare.
world.
I will not dare impede our Inquisitor judgment. I will only say our findings, and I'll let him decide what to do with this information.
Excellent. The
You
comm
want
beat
to
is open.
say
The comm
something to him? Say it yourself.
channel is open. Do you want to share this information with the Inquisitor or with the Confessor?
Yeah. We'll share it with the Inquisitor.
Excellent.
I look at Stefan first. Inquisitor? We share this with the Inquisitor first, or the Confessor?
This must be heard by the Inquisitor himself. I believe it is of great importance, and I do not wish for our message to be interpreted by someone else.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and relay our findings to the Inquisitor. I'm gonna put no recommendations forward yet, and just give him the information.
Excellent. He calls you to the Coram Primus chambers. Do you want to study
look at
any more
Stefan.
tomes or find any more clues?
I look at Stefan and I say, if you'd like to stay here to keep going through this, I can head to go and talk to him. But if you'd like to join me, I think your company would be more than welcome.
Then the Stripetines shut down from his fingertips, he re-putting his gloves on. I have had my fill of knowledge today. Yeah. I will ensure that I will commission some scribes to gather information and bring it to the cruiser for further study.
I nod my head.
Barbosa is going to bag those books of the crime-related books he wasn't able to piece together for later study and put it in his satchel.
Yes.
I
I'm gonna
look
say
over at-
it weighs a total of 7 kilograms.
Okay.
I say to the group as me and Stefan are leaving, and I just simply say, make sure to inventory everything we take.
Did I find
Nice.
anything in the desk that was interesting?
You search through the desk and you find some of his personal notes. They are very light.
I'll take them.
Yeah. If you can read Binaric, you can read them as well.
I cannot, but I know people in the party can.
Nice.
And as we're leaving, I'm just going to put a hand on Pridwin's shoulder and say, this, pointing down to his gun, above this, and pointing to Duskin's head.
I don't follow.
Do I see this from where I'm standing? Do I see Duskin doing this?
Sure.
I'm just gonna quickly call out. He's also got a sword now, so he got a gun and a sword. Don't forget that. And I just give Pridwin and Duskin a nod as I keep walking by.
Nothing ever changes, does it?
It's trying
Well,
to be nice.
You guys, let's get moving. Let's not leave the Inquisitor or the Fabricator General waiting. Let's conclude our business and be off this godforsaken, emperor-forsaken planet.
I think we can all agree with that sentiment.
Oh yes, I don't want to be here much longer.
If I were to somehow by misfortune, at this very end of this conclusion of our mission here, fall to some kind of accident or anything, I'm sure my ghost will haunt all of you.
Well, unfortunately for you,
if
Barbosa,
we avenge you, then
If you were to haunt us, I'd be the only one able to see you.
Well, then I'll haunt you in particular, Pridwin. No, yeah.
Okay, can we stop talking about haunting each other, guys? Can we just stop this? Can we just stop this entire line of conversation and just leave now?
To be honest, Duskin is actually walking with a straighter back and with more of a springy step than he has for weeks.
Okay, so what's the deal with Duskin, guys? What did I miss?
nothing important.
I just got back. What did I miss?
Everything important. Okay, so we're gonna continue to the Inquisition now.
However, be aware, he's lower than us. Much lower. And Barbosa, I'm afraid I will have to commission your service as a transporter. We will make our way towards House of Brabazon and explain to them that who exactly is their benefactor. And that their loyalty will be, well, placed in our care.
Do we need astropaths? Is this what that accomplishes?
No, we will have a navigator house behind us now. This means easier transportation of both the goods and men without attracting attention to us.
That's good.
Wouldn't just simply an astropath message do?
No, it will be necessary.
I do
One
not
does
wish
not
to go
deal
back.
with such creatures through one of their own kind.
Speaking of astropaths, Bridwin, do you have any type of telepathy?
I do. Does someone need a message?
I get real close to Bridwin, and I just whisper in his ear periodically, like whisper to Duskin in his mind just to fuck with him.
I'm not going to be using the powers of the warp.
That is not a wise move.
That's revealed more.
I will
Oh,
not
alright.
use them.
What preceded
Dark,
pandemonium?
dark
Do you
first
think the
session
powers of the warp
involvement.
are so
You've
trivial that I can use them for schoolyard pranks?
I want to be off this planet in 6 hours, you hear me? Duskin.
We shall make it 4.
Duskin and Doc and the rest of you go to meet the Inquisitor. Stefan and I will travel to House Barbazum and conclude our business there, where we will subsequently exit and return to the Inquisitorial cruiser. Should you need escort, please sign us on our Vox channel. I will pick you up.
Doc just points to like the massive equipment that he just like brought back from Rage's room and just says, "We need to put that on your ship first."
Fine. Be fast about it.
Doc just gives 2 head nods.
Excellent. You get your assistants to carry the stuff up to the ship. Stefan and Barbosa, you disappear, and the rest of you enter the chambers. The air is heavy. It has a metallic smell. You see the Fabricator General flipping through a tome. He's leaned over. The Inquisitor is standing in front of him, articulating something. As you enter the room, he can hear your footsteps echo. He turns around and lowers his hood. The Inquisitor gives you a very serious glare. He walks over to you. Archconfessor Cain Noble walks up to the Fabricator General and continues talking to him. The Inquisitor is standing in front of you. What more did you find?
We found some more Xenos artifacts that we've already transported to the ship, along with more information. We've also triangulated the region that an Eldar craft world is in nearby to this planet that the explorator Magos was in league with.
We will look at that later. For now, the information on the cult of Zadok has been spread by the Council. It led us to encrypted data vaults that revealed more of what preceded the pandemonium and the Inquisition's involvement. It is worrying. He has a grim expression on his face. We have confirmed the existence of Askellon 1, the first world encountered by the early settlers to the sector. The navigator houses and other powerful entities are racing to uncover what they believe to be a mechanism to control the pandemonium and use it against their enemies. They have developed a coded language from their heretical insights from the early history of Askellon, which has soon after been lost by the Administratum. I want you to intercept the last meeting before the nobility form their expeditions and journey to Askellon 1. The only way to do that is through the oldest known records of Askellon, which have only recently been uncovered from the abandoned cities on Rund. He points to you, Duskin. Enjoying your new positions in the Inquisition, you will command local forces on the way there, so you can lay the groundwork before you arrive. Once there, search the ancient overgrown librarium of the once developing world for the forbidden knowledge about the subsector which hides Askellon 1. You will receive
His will, my lord.
You will receive a full briefing once you return to orbit. I will meet you on the ship.
Sorry.
He
And then at the end he says, "My will, your will, my lord."
He stands next to the space in front of the Fabricator General. Points to you, Stefan. Stefan, step forward.
Okay.
He is holding a sigil in his hand that he has pulled out from his robes.
Stefan steps forward, unsure whether he should be bowing or standing straight. Obviously, a bit in shock to be addressed directly.
Stefan, you are to be my legate investigator, to hold the sigil of question. You may operate with my authority if our connection is ever broken for an extended period of time.
Understood, my lord. I will do everything in my power to fulfill your will.
Tusken, if you wish to join
My
the Ordo
lord.
Xenos, you serve as Prime Investigator, issuing orders for other warbands you may encounter, as well as other servants of the Imperium.
As you command, my lord.
James, do you wish to take on the rank of Prime?
I was already at the rank of Prime, but yeah. Sure, I'll take it again.
He, this time, hands you a sigil. Barbosa, Pridman, Matreus. He, sort of says, even though you're not here, Stefan as well. You will just receive this message, and I forgot you weren't here. You'll just receive it like on your computer or something. Barbosa, Pridman, Matreus. You are to serve as throne agents, upholding the honor of the Inquisition wherever you go. He gives you sigils, insignia. Do any of you object or not want to receive your title?
No.
Excellent. He points to the Fabricator General. The Fabricator General speaks. This is the first time you've heard him not speaking Balearic, by the way. There's it's basically just a deep mechanical voice. Obviously I can't do it, but just imagine this deep humming Balearic in the background as you can hear his translator. Your agents, Inquisitor, have transgressed against bone and metal. They are alive solely because they saved our holy vault. It was I who ordered the juries to lead the investigation, and their findings are interesting. But I can only assume that something of greater importance and interest to the Inquisition has summoned you before me. At this point, the Inquisitor is going to step down to the stand in front of the Fabricator. The Confessor holding what seems to be a hologram next to him, ready to activate it. The hologram is going to portray all the data that you have found so far. Going through the data slate that Barbosa has uncovered, I want any of you to do a -30 tech use tests to see what you have uncovered.
Are we there, Barbosa and Stefan? Or?
No, but you could have given this before you left. Because
Yeah.
you were analyzing the data.
I'm gonna help Barbosa with the tech use instead of
Can you
rolling.
just give me a 10 and I'll succeed? If you helped me, I succeed already.
I help. It's a little meta gamey though, but I help you if I help Dog.
Fine.
Okay,
Fine.
there's just 1 degree of success.
Yeah. So on in his personal notes that Barbosa has gathered, there is evidence that they have been working with the Eldari to uncover information about the lost world Askellon 1. They've been basically using, in their minds at least, the Eldari, They were also behind the attack on the vault, which was about obfuscating what they've been doing with the scrap code. As this information is relayed through to the Inquisitor, this hologram begins depicting Serix Magnus. The Inquisitor is going to walk in a half circle as he addresses the Fabricator. Honored Lord Fabricator, I am humbled to be in the presence once again of your magnificent mind. The Inquisitor makes an unfolding gesture with his hands, and he starts walking with authority across the room. It seems an infection beyond your knowing has been festering in the machine core. My agents have uncovered its nature. The dreaded Aldari have pierced the warp, and in it they see your demise. The disturbance of your great machine has been the workings of a threat from without. And now that the trap was set, they have revealed their hand. The hologram is going to display some ships that seem to be floating around the world. Their precious Eldar craft world have been found by our scanners near the outer rim of the Pandemonium, hidden behind a veil which your vessels and scanners do not pierce. We assembled a Meditarum fleet and a Deathwatch strike force in preparation for the invasion of the craft world. This had to be kept secret until now. My lord, we are ready to strike the Xenos threat. Join us. The holographic device portrays several large battleships floating near the shimmering blue rim, the Pandemonium. The Inquisitor is going to take a knee and bow. What do you do?
I will follow suit.
We're not there, so
I shall do the same.
Excellent.
Well, I think doing this before we go.
Okay, then I will bow, of course.
No, you're not there.
Then I will take a knee.
Excellent. The group all take a knee, the Inquisitor in front of you. You sit there for a while you hear this binary humming. Deep humming noise. As the Fabricator General stands up, I'm going to take a couple of rolls.
If he needs influence, I will gladly give my Inquisitor scandalous social life.
The Inquisitor doesn't need your influence. He's doing fine, thanks. He is going to stand up after a little while. Some binary humming can be heard. It reads, "You have our assistance." With that, the Inquisitor turns around, gives you a single nod, pulls back his hood, and walks over to the rest of you. What do you do? Do you want to do anything here before you leave?
Guys?
Nothing to say.
I can't imagine anything I have to say or do.
Excellent.
Inquisitor is-
Yeah, go ahead, Constantinus.
Inquisitor is now appropriate.
Go ahead.
Due to the rapid destabilization of the Forge world, my house is looking for new prospects. As we fare in the coming days, the Forge will not be able to provide for us as well as they have.
You are welcome to join our ranks.
The house would simply need confirmation that they would not be, forced to go to a lower standard than they are used to.
I'm not familiar with the intricacies of your house. However, we can
We care not
guarantee
for
the
luxury
best
goods.
accommodations.
I'll speak with him. Thank you, Inquisitor.
He nods and with that turns around. You leave to a nearby spaceport. On the way there you can see giant hovering explorator fleets, ships. The monorail takes you out of the assembly. Finally you see the open skies of Ceres Magnus, the blue shimmering light of the metallic surface. Looking up to the sky you see the dim reflection of him in inquisitorial cruiser in near orbit. Boarding the dropships, you will hear that you will await Stefan and Barbosa's arrival later. You're given reports on the craft world target and find out that it's been hovering dangerously close to the edge of the pandemonium, and it is currently unpowered. The astropaths believe that they have mostly the Eldari escaped through a teleportation device, but that vital information and some troops were unable to be evacuated by them before it began to malfunction. The craft world is currently tethering on the edge of a sudden expanding frontier of the pandemonium. As you read the reports, you also read that the Death Watch have been called. You have entire squadrons of Imperial Guard ready for your service. Stefan and Barbosa, quick scene before we go. You are in the Brabazum.
Barbosa will wait in the aircraft. He does not wish to see the witch.
Stefan will approach the handler that we've last spoke with.
As you land, you are engulfed in sand. The air around you is just completely impenetrable. You can hardly see anything. As you approach, you can see some figures in the distance. You can just see their silhouette identifying you before you arrive. The Navigator Scion will be awaiting you. You're taken up to her chambers, just like before.
I'll go with.
And as we watch, they would hear something break, as if something was dislocated. From this sound coming from Stefan.
Barbosa will look at Stefan.
Stefan, noticing your days saying pain chills the mind from trickery.
He sort of lifts his eyebrows a little bit at that and kind of nods, I suppose.
I find it very comforting.
Excellent. Alright, you walk up to the chambers. They seem to not be expecting you at all. They also seem to be undergoing a larger operation. What do you say, Stefan?
Stefan, without even being beckoned or addressing directly at the matriarch of the Navigator House, saying, well, I've kept my word, didn't I? I guess I should congratulate you on your newfound position on Ceres Madness.
You have done well.
You will hear this piercing voice as you feel your skin crawl. Looking over the desk, you see a beautiful woman appearing from out of the shadows. Before you spot her features, she has piercing and radiant eyes that almost hurt to look at, porcelain skin that seems to be cracking in some places, and a third eye covered by a metallic device. She walks very quickly when she sees you, and she seems to appear suddenly in front of you, as the air around you gets hazy, as if in a fog.
I guess.
Now, do you care to reveal your true identity?
Of course. I will present myself honestly. My name is Stefan Peller, legate investigator of Inquisitor Caster Typh. And he will, from his pocket, he will ordain on his armor the sigil of question.
Nice. You get an inspiration point, and her eyes just flare open, and she's going to sort of in a rush.
Now, why have you returned?
I wish to inform you of the true identity of your benefactor. However, you understand that now that we have done you service, we will expect the same from you and your house.
You have my guarantee.
As she says that, you are given a plaque as well as various communication codes to their nodes and their bases around the sector. House Brabazon has stations all over the sector, and you can all roll 2d5 and add it to your influence.
All of us? Awesome.
Everybody.
Stefan and Barbosa doing the job, getting the money.
Ooh!
Not bad.
Ooh, I am happy with that.
Oh.
Ah, very good.
I got 45 influence now. I'm okay with this.
65 could be worse.
In addition to that, on the way out, Stefan and Barbosa, you can both do a +10 requisition tests.
Well, if you so insist, I guess I have no other choice. Okay, and I do it later though.
Of course.
So I will not take time.
Guys, returning to the ship, I'm gonna say you fly back finally, Barbosa.
Kommer vart
Yes,
jag blir
finally.
klar. Jag håller på att avsluta nu. Ja, jag håller på att avsluta nu.
Barbosa singing
yes.
all the way.
Stefan will be standing at his communication desk, thinking that if Albert Pearl was not born with such tainted blood, perhaps their relationship might be different. Alas, a man can dream, I guess.
Barbosa has very similar thoughts.
There'd be a place to get some amasec on the ship.
Oh yes, there is decaf, there's Amasec, there's low stakes. There's a whole minibar which you can enjoy on the way up. There's even a little shower.
Oh
Y'all
my
would
God.
notice Pridwin would be drinking a lot of amasec for himself, because he normally only takes sips. He's drinking quite a bit.
Returning to the ship, that is also the first on Barbosa's mind. That shower that has been haunting him for months.
Yeah.
The feeling of his belly being full, and not only by corpse starch or a gruel, but actual delicacies. Fine amasec, low stakes. It's all coming to him, his reward. His mouth gets watery by just the thought of it.
You catch a final glimpse
So,
of the surface of the world. Looking down at the forges, the manufactura, they become smaller and smaller. Finally, you can hear the chatter over the vox comms of inquisitorial servants. You say a final goodbye to Ceres Magnus as you see the metallic ball disappear in the back window.
This is Agent Barbosa entering airspace. Mission complete. Securing or requesting docking tickets position.
And that's where we can leave it until next session. And you are ready to depart towards the craft world.
She would actually join after a craft world.
You're going to invade a craft world.
We're just invade one.
Yes,
yeah,
get
my
to kick
idea,
some
actually.
Eldar ass.
This is something that I have done before.
This is gonna be incredibly both pleasant and unpleasant. I'm excited. Can I bring the knight?
Depends on where it can fit. But it will be grand
In
scale.
the bigger
and
chambers, I'm confident he'll fit.
it will be grand scale, and I think I'm going to share a screen with you, just so that you can prepare yourselves, even though we're not quite there. Kommer nå hvert øyeblikk. Nå holder jeg på å avrunde.
I just ask that
Ja,
when
hold
we're
it
there
in there.
that we grab some spirit stones that are not of Farseers and Warlocks, just of the normal people.
I have a phone
We
call. I have to go.
crush.
Can you post in the chat the XP and stuff? And thanks so much for the session, guys.
Thank you for coming. XP is 500
Cheers, bro.
for 600 for succeeding the entire mission.
Yay.
500? 600?
600.
6.
And I'm gonna drop you on a screen so you
And
can
we also
study
crush
and
all
read.
soul stones.
This is going to be the next session, guys. It's going to be a grand scale invasion. We begin here. You can ignore most of the rules. It is just a matter of organizing where you want to attack, and it will be you versus me. We both have a limited amount of troops, and you have to order the troops in the invasion.
So we're literally just playing Warhammer now. I love this.
Yeah, it won't be for long, but we always do something new here. So go ahead and read up, and I'll see you soon.
May I lead the Psychers?
You absolutely may, and all of you can lead whatever troops you want. You are in charge of the invasion.
Also, GM.
I think he's off.
Alright, so we'll be able to make it for a short duration this Friday. Can